Esports and also Kazakhs as their first two picks.
Might see early game skirmish here, and as well as a pick composition with the Varus being locked in. But UCFC, look at that. Dragon is going to take this Fizz. And so far, when we look back in the group stages, it's usually EDF that has been constantly picking it up, despite the changes and the nerfs and adjustments throughout the whole patches previously on this champion. In the meantime, Darius now will go towards Nastro, and DR Esports going to lock in that Nami. Of course, the Nami is going to compensate for the lack of mobility that Varus has. And Chain of Corruptions on top of a bubble. And the damage coming from the Kazakhs, it's going to be very deadly. UCFC going to finish this off with a Pantheon and a Draven. So this is not the usual composition that we see where it's a Senna plus Nasus plus a melee. It's going to be the Draven. So this is a traditional duo lane. And DR Esports going to top this off with an Orianna. It's not a cat ball, but Kazakhs can also do a very good job delivering the ball to a Shockwave.
Yeah, and the main point that DR Esports need to make is now to be isolating onto these champions, onto UCFC Esports, to be able to impact and increase the amount of damage that Kazakhs or Gaspel can provide for his team up against UCFC Esports. But what I am looking at right now is a Draven and Pantheon pick for UCFC that is very interesting and actually shocking to my eyes, because Draven, as you've seen a while ago, 0% pick rate for now, and Pantheon into the jungle is an unusual type of situation, but I think it can happen.
Yeah, the Pantheon, big level 3, big level 5. We're talking about the stuns, and as well as the ability, once you get that level 5, you've got that armor penetration as well. That's going to be a big bonus. Curious to see how the level 5s, the Grand Starfall, is going to come through, especially from UCFC. See the timings and everything on our first match of the day.
Well, we'll jump into the first game for the grand game of DR Esports versus UCFC's the fourth series of today's playoffs, as now we're going for the faster into the mid lane to start this game off.
That is the standard of starting in the mid lane just to get priority for your mid laner, and as well as you soaking experience. So you get level 2 earlier, depending on seeing whether or not Devil J also was involved in that wave clear. But looking at the dual lane state right now, we're seeing that Gospel pretty low. Good thing he is with a Nami, so there is some sort of sustain coming through. But of course, Demon Kite and Hero are going to have a good time here as the Draven and the Senna. They just have to ward properly just to make sure that EDF has no points of entering this lane.
Yeah, it's just in huge consideration that UCFC's Draven is just too much when it comes to the early game. And you have to imagine that you're fighting a bow and arrow with a throwing axe and a gun for UCFC Esports. So, I mean, you can weigh it out on who's going to be the stronger one in the early game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, water versus the gun of Hero. I'm not sure how that will work. Yeah. But the healing from Rocks, though, is pretty huge at the moment. They have been losing the poking and the harass game so far in the dual lane, forcing Demon Kite to back away and basically recuperate from all that. So the thing is, for Gospel, he can farm in a very safe range. Therefore, you know, Demon Kite is forced to push forward, and therefore opened to opportunities for a potential bubble coming from Rocks. But in the mid lane, that's a huge damage, huge trade rather, and in favor of EDF, but no mana for EDF so far. So he will just go back to the lane and sustain.
Yeah, he has to go for the recall, because when you're matching up against Dragon, which has an ultimate ready, it's a difficult situation if you stay at the very low HP and mana. So I think currently it's just a clever move from EDF and Dragon to go back and reset for now, to buy some items, large Rudge immediately though. For Dragon, might be building up into Rabadon stat cap, and Orianna might go through a different path line for his item build. But let's look at Renzi. He's now going for the stun. Chomps the water, goes in for the knock-up. EDF is very low. That's going to be the first blood for UCFC.
That was smooth from UCFC there. They were able to eliminate immediately, get first blood on EDF, despite EDF being very, very close to his own tower. The stuns coming in, the chum the waters, everything was just so clean to the point that Renzi and Dragon didn't even need to consume a flash to execute that properly. And that chain of CC could be the fall of DR Esports. DR, though, they do have a similar story. Chain of corruptions to the bubble, shockwave delivery system coming from Etaf as well, with a 4-1 setup with Devil J, who is going to be the one that will split push later on with the squad rather. But for DR, with the Chum the Waters being a problem, especially now at this point where they're level 5s, level 6s, that means Zonia's Hourglass will be a very important item buy for DR. Chum the Waters comes in, use Zonia's Hourglass to sort of soft counter that knock up and the damage.
And speaking of the same situation, when you're talking about Fizz, when you're talking about Dragon, because of that first blood, Rabadon's Zcap immediately has been bought by Dragon in the first 4 minutes into the game, which is unusual because the amount of gold that you require to be able to buy this item. But currently, now with that item for Dragon, too much damage that can potentially income for DR Esports in those massive team fights, in those 3v3, 5v5, that DR Esports needs to be wary and cautious on what Dragon will do in those specific cases.
Yeah, DR has to be wary about Dragon, especially when he starts roaming. With Renzi, it's going to be an easy Starfall stun and an easy Chum the Water.
Whoa!
So what?
UCFC has stolen the Cloud Dragon. This just went in for the Chums. The Water got the steal down.
That's crazy. Another kill?
Now the root will follow through. Guillotine will get the kill down. UCFC will get the 1-for-1. On top of all that, they took the Cloud Dragon away for DR Esports.
Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot. They're able to get a kill on towards Devil J. They've managed to get the Rift Herald and then get a steal on the Air Drake. That is a lot of value in such a short span of seconds. And it's all thanks to Dragon. It's fine. He has a Rabadons. He's not in a hurry at the moment. He can continue to snowball that. That's really, really worth. DR now with an awkward start so far. And we'll see how UCFC utilizes this lead. As again, Rift Herald will most likely be unleashed at top side to open up the map for Nastro to continue pressuring at top to give more room get into these future dragons. This combo right here, Dragon and Renzi, they are on the hunt, they're on the prey.
Yeah, but they're patiently waiting for that opportunity to come through since you have Edolf slowly just hugging the turret down because of the risk coming out onto it. So very, very safe. But look at the top side though. Different story as DR went for the 3-man roam. And
Renzi?
Renzi going for the face check. Tidal Wave goes for the knock up down. Grand challenge in. That's gonna be the kill for DR Esports, but Chum to Water into the backside, goes for the flank for Dragon, and Edolf goes for the flash in. They want to engage. Now Darius went in for the hook there. That's gonna be the Guillotine, not being able to get the kill down, but Dragon will be saved. That will be the 2-for-1 in favor for DR Esports.
That was a really good read coming from DR Esports. They were expecting a possible dive again coming from Renzi. He just went straight to the tri-brush, only get greeted by Tidal Wave.
Oh!
Dragon with a solo kill.
Dragon!
Starfall?
And you also have Renzi actually went in for the Starfall to be able to actually rease out the Rift Herald.
Yeah, no one's going to be there to defend that. So it is going to be a first blood tower for UCFC. And unfortunately, Etaf has no way to prevent this from happening. And now UCFC, look at their vision control. Very primarily focused on top side. So they are going to have been pressuring that part of the map as DR Esports unable to catch up to what UCFC is doing. But so far, it is just a 2K gold deficit in favor of UCFC. It is for DR Esports having to unlock this combo. We're looking at Gospel being able to get that Muramana fully stacked so the pokes could hurt. And Chain of Corruptions into the bubble, or bubble into the Chain of Corruptions. Look at this. We talked about this before. Zonia's Hourglass being a priority buy just to cancel out the Chum the Waters. We're going to continue seeing that through, especially towards Edolf as well on the Orianna.
Yeah, and that's probably going to hit DR Esports when it comes to the damage category, as it needs to be prioritized. As UCFC, though, looking to get the kill, looking to go for the engage. Chums the Water. Actually, a complete Stacy Zanchan for Gospel to actually counter that one. So UCFC going back away, they will not push this through. But
Chain of Corruption?
going in, Chain of Corruption will go in through the Darius. Senna will save his life. And DR Esports will not be able to get the kill as well. So stalemate, no kills, no initial setups, no initiation coming from these two teams.
Yeah, all the important ults are gone. And look at this Edaf though. Usually when we look back in the fall season performances, Edaf has been one of the shining stars of DR Esports. And so far, Devil J,
The hunt, they want some bloodshed. Devil J will jump back. Darius flashes in, goes for the hook. Devil J flashes onto the bush, but you have just too much damage, and UCFC will get another kill.
nicely done Bubble. DR Esports, they don't want this anymore. They are one man lacking, and this means UCFC can take this for free.
Look at DR Esports though. A trail of enemies now coming in. Black Mist goes for the invisibility, but the hook will be there. Chumps the water, goes for the knockup. That's going to be huge damage. UCFC will get the Mountain Dragon and will be able to take one kill down. Pantheon goes for the Grand Starfall, tries to go for the Proto Belt in. Stun will not connect, but it follows through after. And now, Edaf will die. This will be a 3-4-2, and UCFC will be added onto the Mountain Dragon. However, DR trades it back with Hero being killed.
Yeah, Devil J2 is able to get 2 kills at least. So UCFC, in time, there will be a point where Devil J could be unstoppable and no one can deal with him. Especially is able to get this lead earlier on. And now it is still UCFC though, getting those 2 dragons. They're able to win that fight. I believe it was really coming from Nastro, who got a really nice apprehend, managed to catch out Etaf, the jungler of DR. No jungler, no problem to secure these objectives. UCFC are doing a pretty good job as DR Esports now resulting into this death brushes, but with the Twin Shadows Enchant, it's a little bit difficult to set these up.
Yeah, they will be spotted by the Twin Shadows, and I think that's the significance of information in Wild Rift. However, UCFC might actually just push this through. Clears out the wave easy. They're pretty much just waiting for the mid lane, setting up a counter death brush up away DR Esports.
Yeah, sieging from if UCFC is gonna be sieging, it's gonna be very, very difficult because DR Esports has a lot of wave clear. They do have a lot of punish with the Chain of Corruptions. If you stand too close in that range, you might get caught out by a bubble, by a shockwave, by that ult coming from the Varus. So that is the reason why UCFC is gonna just clear the waves, but not overstay their welcome under the tower. They are going to be careful.
Huge knock-up, but DR Esports going in for the defense will not be able to do so as UCFC gets another turret in mid lane.
And nicely done. That is exactly what you want to do to play around the scary combo that Gospel, Rox, and Edaf has. You try to just zone them away. It was that Chum the Waters that zoned Edaf away. Now, Edaf does have that Zonia's Hourglass, so there is that added protection against the Chum the Waters threat that has been constantly looming over DR Esports. They haven't really managed to make moves around the map just yet. Muraman is fully stacked already, so this is the opportunity where Gospel get a lot of painful pokes. Now with this 4-man roaming death squad.
Yeah, and remember, DR Esports, Varus, 25 ability haze, although it chumps the water.
Oh dear.
We're going for the knock-up, Edaf will fall. That will be the kill for UCFC.
Oh no!
The jungle will be removed. Grand
Starfall
Starfall coming in, into the backside. And DR Esports will try to go for the retreat, but Tidal Wave will go for the disengage. Apprehend will go for the 2-man hook. And the Gospel will get killed. UCFC going for the 2-4-0. And DR Esports will lose their jungle, will lose their ADC.
Yeah, that was a beautiful flash apprehend. And beautiful Chum the Waters from Dragon just mainly catches out Etaf right off the bat. No jungler, again, no problem to take this objective.
Now Oriana set up his ball into the Baron's pit. Fizz now jumping in. Huge amount of damage coming in. Demon Kite will go into the backside. Huge damage potential. And Edaf will get killed alongside with Rox. That will be the 2-4-0. coming up, but Edaf waiting very patiently onto the sidelines, might be able to go for the flank here. But will he do it? Will he make it? Can he do it?
Powered recalls though.
He won't.
Oh, he's still.
But he will. Chomps the Water will actually go in for the knockup. Will not be able to get the kill down. DR Esports will get the trade, but only on the Dragon, alongside with Devil J actually getting the tier 2 turret bot lane.
That was Dragon and the rest of UCFC as well are doing an amazing job. They're very confident. The fact that Dragon was so low and he playful trickstered into two people that could potentially kill him in one ability. That's how confident Dragon is. I mean, he wanted to be a little bit sneaky there and see if he can burst down Etaf on the Kazakhs, but it wasn't enough. Now, looking at the gold lead, it is not as much as we expected it to be, but looking at the kills, they're going through two key targets on UCFC, especially towards Dragon here, and Nastro as well, and especially Demon Kite on this Draven. And now they're going to utilize this Baron buff to get the siege on.
It's just commendable how DR Esports still sticking up into a 4K gold difference. Even though UCFC has already gotten 4 kill advantage and even 3 dragons away for DR Esports. So for now, I commend them for that. But up until when can they do this? Up until when can they even sustain themselves away for UCFC? Because currently you're looking at 2-man push into the mid lane and 2-man push into the bot lane. 2 tier turrets successfully brought down by UCFC, and DR Esports needs to defend. Especially right now, 3 inhibitor turrets are the only ones remaining for them to defend the Nexus base.
And this 1-3-1 is deadly. DR Esports might start a fight atop. Tidal Wave.
Chomps the Water goes in for the knockup onto Devil J. Followed through with the apprehend. Senna ultimate will not bring him down. That's guillotine being cancelled by the riposte. And now Chain of Corruptions will actually get the root down onto Nasjo. That will be the trade that DR Esports wants. And Demon Kite will force the Flash to retreat. As DR Esports is following through. Might go for the poke down, but Arrow will not connect. That will be the 1-4-0 for DR Esports.
Yeah, good call from UCFC to not overstay their welcome. They've maximized the buff already, with, just as you mentioned, only the inhibitor towers left. Now UCFC can look into setting up for this Infernal Drake to be that game-ending buff. As DR Esports, they have nothing left except, again, the inhibitor towers to defend from. And that means it's going to be very difficult for them to try and contest these Infernal Drake take. Looking at the itemization, Edaf already has Rabadon's intact, and as well as the Orb. Staff of Flowing Water already completed for Rock, so that ability haste will definitely help DR Esports to spam a little bit more, coming from Gospel and as well as coming from Edaf. Now they're in the mid lane. This is quite scary.
Yeah, Blackman is going through to go for the engage. EVs are now coming up. Gus will goes for the Stasis Enchant, will live just a tad bit longer. Etaf will come through into the backside, goes for the kill down. Will be able to get the 2-4-2. Now DR Esports is fighting 3v3. But Rocks will fall to follow through. Apprehend will go for the CC chain. As Fizz will still continue to go for this evisceration. And DR Esports will try to come back. But Edaf will be the only one remaining to go back away. Grand Starfall will come in. Flash will be forced away. And DR Esports will be left with 1 man standing. UCFC left with 3.
Yeah, that's 20 seconds, 30 seconds death timers on towards DR Esports. UCFC can definitely take another tower down.
And they're pushing into the mid lane. We'll be able to get the inhibitor turret down, as no one will be able to defend it. And UCFC is just happy with that inhibitor turret open for the Nexus base.
Definitely, it was worth with that fight in the mid lane being very far advanced. Gospel. The thing about this dynamic for the composition of UCFC, you have to choose between 2 things. Do you want QSS Enchant or do you want Zonia's Hourglass? And so far, because Dragon has been taking that early lead, of course you want to cancel out that Chum the Waters. QSS is also very important because of Renzi's easy stun here. If you get caught out, there is basically no escape. So now with triple Zonia's Hourglass, all they have to worry about now is the easy stun coming from Renzi. And now Infernal Elder Drake has spawned. DR Esports, we'll see how they can deal with this fight.
Black Mist will be casted down. Dragon will be able to go for the chunks to water. Goes for the knock-up. Infernal Dragon at 4k HP.
Tidal
DR
wave.
Esports Tidal Wave goes for the zone away. Chain of Corruption alongside with a knock-up. Huge play for DR Esports, but it's not going to be enough actually to bring down
Devil
UCFC. We'll be able to get the solo kill into the backside for Devil J. And now it's going to be the 4v3 as now UCFC will lose 2 members and even their jungler. Their esports will continue to push this through. Will continue to try and punish. GA will now be popped away for the Orianna, but will be immediately getting killed down. Demon Kite will say goodbye. Nasjo will do the same. And DR Esports has all the free real estate to go for the Infernal Dragons.
Yeah, look at the mid lane though. It's just very, very open. We're gonna look forward to see if UCFC decides to buy these teleports because the wave is now pushing towards the Nexus. They want to push. They want more kills. Do they want to end?
DR Esports, they don't care about the mid lane. What they care about is bottom lane.
Ending.
They're pushing through. They're ending this game.
Do they
Tidal
end?
Wave will go for the knock-up. Acro Quizen to follow through. CC Chain is gonna be